2023 was very productive for Kazakhstan's diplomacy. This year, country hosted 11 leaders of foreign states. Kazakh president, in turn, visited 8 countries of the world, including United States, Germany, China, Vietnam, and many more. We spoke to the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Kazakhstan, Roman Vasilenko, to understand what 2023 brought for Kazakhstan's foreign policy and how relations specifically with the EU have developed. Please watch the fragment of the interview right now. If to talk particularly about cooperation of Kazakhstan with the European Union, one of our major, let's say, trade and economic partners, we also have seen, again, so-called activation of interest from the European side to Kazakhstan. It started, for example, in late 2022 when we had meetings with the high-level representatives of the EU, like Charles Michel, Josep Borrell, also the meeting in digital format with Ursula von der Leyen. And Kazakhstan continued this year to actively engage with the European partners. But my question is, what is strategic focus of our country in partnership with the European Union?
Thank you. Well, the relations with the European Union and other European countries, such as the United Kingdom, which is no longer part of the European Union, have been developing, of course, over the 30 years of our independence. And what you are seeing happening now in terms of this major proliferation of political contacts and summitry and meetings and visits, etc., of course, this is not happening on the basis of nothing. It's not like we're taking it out of thin air. There is a solid basis which has been established in the first 30 years of our relations with the European Union, which we, by the way, commemorated earlier this year, the 30th anniversary of our diplomatic relations. Kazakhstan has been a privileged partner for the European Union in Central Asia. We're the only country which has signed and ratified what is known as the Enhanced Partnership and Cooperation Agreement with the European Union. It covers 29 areas of cooperation, and it's a very wide-ranging document. It's a huge document. I remember how we negotiated it, how we then proceeded through the ratification of this document. It covers, as I said, 29 areas, but it mostly has to do with establishing frameworks for trade with the European Union. But again, in this very complex geopolitical environment, against the backdrop of the upheaval even in our own neighborhood and the conflict in Ukraine, Kazakhstan has taken a very clear position, and our president has made it very clear that Kazakhstan stands for the need, for the respect for the United Nations Charter, its fundamental principles of the territorial integrity and respect for sovereignty, and that Kazakhstan stands for the peaceful resolution of conflicts, peaceful diplomatic resolution of conflicts. And it is this position that the President of Kazakhstan has taken that has conditioned the strong interest on behalf of the European Union to have even stronger, even closer ties with Kazakhstan. Yes, we have been traditional partners in, say, oil and gas industry. Right. And Kazakhstan has been supplying oil and gas, mostly oil, to the European Union. We supply 9% of Europe's needs. Kazakhstan has also been, in recent years, a key supplier of uranium to the European Union, and especially to France, for example. But in recent years, as the European Union is engaged in the so-called double transition, green transition and digital transition, greater focus has been paid to new areas of our cooperation. What I mean is that there are 3 specific areas which are at the forefront of our discussions and our cooperation with the European leaders, be it in Brussels or the European leaders of individual European countries such as President Macron of France or Steinmeier of Germany. What I mean is that, first and foremost, we are talking about a big potential for cooperation in rare earth metals. Kazakhstan already produces 18 out of 34 rare earth metals that the European Union identifies as critical raw materials. And there is a big potential for expanding this cooperation. And there are specific examples of the successful launch of cooperation, such as a German company, HMS Bergbau, for example, acquiring several licenses to develop lithium in Kazakhstan. So rare earth metals is the future of our cooperation. It's the future of mankind for the next 15-20 years, perhaps. And all those new technologies, they require a lot of rare earth metals, such as lithium, cobalt, and others. And Kazakhstan is rich in all of them. So that's one area. The second area is green energy, and in particular green hydrogen. And this is where the EU and Kazakhstan are quite keen to cooperate as well. And there too, there are specific examples, such as a huge project that is being developed now by German company Svevind to produce up to 3 million tons of green hydrogen beginning in 2032, which is 1/5 of the European Union's needs in this critical material. So this project is now on track. It's been developed, it's been implemented, it has been formally launched when German Federal President Frank-Walter Steinmeier visited Astana and then Aktau, where this project is located. And the third area of cooperation is, of course, transport and logistics. Kazakhstan is a country that is strategically located in the heart of Eurasia, and our president has rightly, on many occasions, identified this as a unique advantage for Kazakhstan to become a hub in the heart of Eurasia by facilitating east-west and north-south trade. As far as the European Union is concerned, of course, the route that is of great interest to the European Union is the east-west connection between China and Europe via Kazakhstan, via the Caspian Sea, via South Caucasus.
We're talking about middle corridor.
Yes, right? Exactly. We're talking about the middle corridor, and that's the focus of our discussion, the focus of our efforts, and that's going to be the buzzword of the next decade, at least, I believe. It is important to note that the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, as well as other development banks and international financial institutions, conducted studies of the most sustainable options or the most promising options to develop connectivity between Central Asia and Europe, and identified the route traversing through southern Kazakhstan as the most sustainable option. And in fact, next month, at the end of January in Brussels, there will be an investors forum where European political leaders, European business captains, and political leaders and companies from Central Asia, as well as the international financial institutions, will converge to chart the way forward in our cooperation on how we will be developing this middle corridor in the future, where the European Union and its financial resources could be applied to develop infrastructure, be it in Kazakhstan or in other countries in Central Asia or in the countries of South Caucasus, so that we remove these so-called bottlenecks that exist along this route, so that we reach the target of achieving the growth of transportation along this route by several times by 2030.
The full interview with Roman Vasilenko is available on our YouTube channel. You can use QR code on your screens to watch it now. And we continue.